Sitting out here today after work trying to find a specific roadside attraction that is getting lost due to the new construction of all these apartments. I'm not kidding, there's houses and all sorts of craziness. Sometimes things from the past just get lost. But I found it. Pioneer Village at Shingle Creek. Hiking, biking, and paddling. Paddling? What the heck? Is there a creek here? Things you never knew existed. But do exist. Still. For how long? I don't know. In the late 1880s and before, when settlements in Osceola County were just beginning, there were a few roads mainly wagon trails and no bridges over Shingle Creek. The road west and Vine Street that led to Ford's name after Jim Yates, also called Matthew Ford's the second William Henry Yates Ford, and the third was named Jack Yates. Ooh. Yeah, this is a pretty incredible find. Welcome everybody to Pioneer Village at Shingle Creek, and I am being recorded, it looks like, on the side of this building. Back in the old pioneer days, they didn't have security cameras, but they do nowadays. So numerous times I drive down Highway 192, leaving Disney, picking up passengers, going back and forth, getting car washes and stuff. One day I noticed a little baby sign that said Pioneer Museum this way. Go, what the heck? Did I just stumble across something that is not in Roadside America? And I think I did. Okay, so far this place is amazing. I've been inside the gift shop talking to the personnel and the staff where you pay to walk in. Amazing history. I am so glad I am kind of changing things from, still focusing on the electric cars, but being able to travel in the electric car and seeing things, especially locally. So let me tell you a little bit about this place. This is, there's actually 3 museums here. Just down the street, I guess, over by the hotels, there's a place where you can drop a canoe in the water, and that is in Shingle Creek. There's another museum there called the Welcome Center and History Museum that is supposedly really cool and amazing. Totally free. Airplane. You should still be able to hear me. The Pioneer Village is on Babb Road for anybody that wants to check that out. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is $8, $4 for children, and also the Spence, of which I believe is this place here, the Pioneer Village. This is where we're at now. Spence Research Center is on Bass Road. Call to submit a request through the website, not open to the public, and that place sounds amazing. So yeah, this place here, I forget how many acres she said it is. It's ginormous. It's the headwaters to the Everglades. That's what this place is. So there is a river right back here, or a creek, Shingle Creek, and it's the headwaters of the Everglades. It fills up the swamps and everything and feeds its way on down there. Almost every building here is original buildings, the original homes, the original cowboy camps and all this other stuff. Some aren't, but the placards will say which buildings are actual, the real structures. And so we're gonna do a quick walk around, check this place out, and probably come back and do some canoeing in a future video. I think that could be fun. Fast, let me read the back of this card. Osceola County Historical Society is the society that owns all these museums. They're all combined, but and I think she said there's something like 80,000 acres or something. It's protected. They're protecting the headwaters of the Everglades here. So this is the beginning of the headwaters, and so all this is just it's supposedly an amazing piece of property. You can bicycle, you can kayak, you can canoe, and you can walk around and enjoy the history of Florida. I am assuming that I'm not going to do a very long video. This place here is probably worthy of an extended video, but due to battery limitations on my camera and microphones, it's going to be a short one. But I have a feeling, actually a funny feeling, I'll be back. How does the song go? I'll be back real soon. It's really hard to believe that water is seasonally limited here in Florida because our state has so much water. But, you know, during the winter time, when it doesn't rain so much, I guess it is. And the pioneers actually built water tanks, just like this one, which I believe is an actual original water tank. Yeah, look at that. There's an artesian well right there, circa 1910. I can pretend I'm a train pulling into the train station. Let the steam out, park, and take the goods off the train. See what we could find. Let's see what kind of luggage and goods came off the trains. Some of the buildings, I think you can go inside, I think she said, but some of them are roped off, so you don't cross the ropes, but you can look inside and have a look-see. Look at that. To switch to my phone just due to the fact, well, I should have charged my batteries in my camera and my microphones. So hopefully this comes out just as good as the camera. We'll see. One of the founders of the area. This is the Tyson homestead. It was donated by the Tyson family. James C. Tyson, a Florida cracker. James Calvin Tyson's personal story resembles that of many Florida cracker families. His parents moved to Florida from Georgia just weeks before the Civil War in 1861. James was born in Florida, and by 1885, he had established himself as a farmer with 21 acres of land, including 10 acres of vegetable crops, 10 acres of woodland forest, and 1 acre of open meadow. By this time, his property, tools, and animals were valued at $1,000. Due to, you know, times how much money $1,000 was in the 1800s, it's probably millions of dollars by now. Let's check out their homestead that was donated here. Very Laura Ingalls-like. Yeah, it's got everything you need, basically. It's got a bedroom here. It looks like a bedroom or something back there. They used to, you know, the baby would sleep over there. Don't know where the kitchen would be. Supposedly, this whole piece of property is kind of the haves and have-nots. So, you know, these were the people with the money in this area, but it's segregated into people, you know, that may not have been as wealthy, like the cowboys and stuff, and you know the cowboy camps, and which didn't have much money, and then the people that did have the money. I am kind of going out of order. They do give you a map when you come here, but due limited, you know, it looks like it's fixing to rain. So due to a time constraint and battery levels, I'm just going to kind of continue walking around and seeing things out of order. Which over here is something I found. I cut that clip off early. There's something over here I found interesting. There we go. Now I can stop. And why am I whispering like I'm in a library? I don't need to. I'm outdoors. Look at this massive piece of property. This is just the Pioneer Village, but all out there in the forest, there's bike trails, river, kayak, canoe. You know, you get tired of hanging out at the theme park sometimes, you come and do something like this. So what the staff here was explaining to me, they also show these thatched roofs from the Seminole Indians, due to the fact when settlers were coming in and we had the Seminole War here in Florida, Indians needed to be able to build something fast for shelter and be able to leave fast in case of an attack. And that's why these structures are the way they are. So you have your sleeping quarters, you know, off the ground. That way you can cook, or over here I'm assuming is a cooking tent. or a cooking structure, and over there would be the sleeping structure, just due to the fact it's off the ground, and Florida gets so wet and so much rain. You want to sleep off the ground. And also, we have a lot of snakes. Seminole diet. Traditionally, the Seminoles ate native plants and animals, used all natural resources. They harvested edible plants, fishing along the creeks and shores, and hunted wild game. Now, the way she explained it, it's very easy and fast to build a structure like this. I don't know how easy and fast it would be for someone like us, or me in particular. I don't think I could ever build anything this well. And I mean, it rains hard. During the middle of a rainstorm, this here would probably keep you really, really dry. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how the Indians did it and created something like this. It's insane that the technology in there, using what you have available to you for shelter, especially in a climate like Florida. And because they're open on the sides, natural air conditioning. Okay, I find this kind of interesting. When I was looking at this placard right here, free range cattle. So we used to have a lot of free range cattle here in the state of Florida. It says cattle in the Americas arrived with the Spanish explorers in the 1600s. When the explorers left Florida, they also left behind their corrillo, I guess is what it is, or cattle. So I was assuming it was cattle. These animals were the beginning of the Florida scrub cattle. After generations of roaming free in the swamps, prairies, and woodlands, this breed adapted to the climate, insects, and harsh environments. So they became kind of wild cattle. And this structure here would be a pen where you could house the cattle, not thousands of them, but you could tie up your horses inside here or outside. This is just a representation, I'm assuming. The thatch roof is under repair. They're going to be doing some work on this, but yeah, they're rebuilding this right now to bring it back to life. Some of it's old, some of it's new. I'm gonna have to come back here fully charged, ready to go. This was a spur of the moment. I was on my way to the car wash, and I said, I seen the Pioneer Museum sign. It led me to an old hotel, and it was bad directions on my part. And so I just typed it into the GPS and found numerous ones around here, not knowing that they're all part of the same society. So I definitely will be coming back here and doing a more in focus video, hopefully soon. Doesn't take that long to charge the batteries. Cattle barns. For the Florida pioneers, barns were used to protect valuable riding gear, farm equipment, animal food, and at times the animals themselves. Obviously, I always thought that they just brought the animals in to get them out of the Florida heat and sun and the rain. Never really thought about it as food storage and equipment, but I'm not a farmer. Oh, look, they're keeping their farm equipment dry. Wonder if there's any animals. Oh, there is. There's animals back here. Hello, goats. I was gonna go back in, but you can't go in because it's locked. The goat don't get no lovin'. The goat don't get no lovin'. It's eating, it's happy anyway. I don't want any lovin' when I'm eating either. So this is also an original structure. Let's see if we can get in here. There is a pathway and a gate. I think I could open this gate and breeze on through, because the only reason I think so is because there is a placard in there and you can't read the placard from here. Gate is shut just in case there's any critters in here that, oh, there is. There's critters in here. Can't have you guys wandering the property. Would you look at this? They got their old well over here. Let's go check that out and see what this placard says, because this looks, before we read the placard, I got to see what this is. I love ghost towns. I love traveling through the Old West. Arizona, New Mexico, Southern Cal, Nevada. I like hunting down old ghost towns. I haven't been able to do it in many years due to the fact I've been in my truck, but now, yeah, I can probably plan a trip in the next year or two. Settlers, families like the Laniers, were self-sufficient and frugal. In their yards and their homes, they grew vegetables, washed clothes, smoked meats, and performed other tasks. Now, I believe she also told me that they started the Silver Spurs Rodeo here, and the family is still strong within the community. If I'm not mistaken, you might have to look up that name right there on Google and get a little bit more history, because my brain only holds so much information. My brain is not Google. Okay, walking up. Now the smokehouse is a replica, but this is an original homestead. Oh my God, I've always wanted to ring one of these. But do you do it with that? No, I don't know what that is. You need a bar. I've always wanted to ring one of these and yell out across the field, "It's supper time!" Yep, everyone would be coming in from work, playing, the kids playing out in the fields, to a feast. Look at that. I have been to many pioneer museums in the past, and I've been to specifically structures like this, homes like this, where in one section you'd have the kitchen and eating area, and then you walk, there'd be a breezeway such as that, so the kitchen would be separate than the living quarters, but it's all the same structure. And then you have the wraparound porch, which is indicative of the cracker style homes. See what we got going on. Yeah, see, these are living quarters. So got a nice fireplace in here. Look at that. I can't get around the door over there, but I see a bed, a pot on the floor. Yeah, this is very much like the other homes I've been to in the past. And here's a smaller room. No fireplace. And the dining room from another angle. And if you look here, this did have some sort of living, area on this side also. Let's see if there's a door over here I didn't even see. Yes, there's a bed, a pot on the floor, a crib. Yeah, everything you need to be comfy. Leave in the comments below, could you live this lifestyle? Is this a lifestyle you're trying to get back to? We're kind of below this lifestyle, living the RV, towing with your car life. We're even below these people from back in the day. But we do have more resources, such as Denny's and IHOP. Here's the home, the structure of the Lanier legacy. So I guess you don't have to Google anything, because I could just read it to you real fast if you're interested. Like so many other settlers of the time, John Lanier moved to Florida from Georgia in search of new opportunities. He and his family moved through Florida as John established himself as a cattle rancher, eventually settling in the Point, an area just west of Lake. I cannot pronounce that. I'm really terrible with some Native American names, but in 1871 is when that happened. John grew up herding by collecting wild cattle that were left in the area by the Spanish explorers centuries ago. His sons work alongside him to create a successful cattle business. At this time of his death in 1888, he had over 1,000 cattle in his herd. The children, let's see here, this is his legacy right there. You can pause it. You don't want to hear me read. Yeah, it was definitely a different time in Florida. Look at those clouds behind me. Those are epic. Oh, look at an old packing shed. Some of the old equipment I've picked up at many packing sheds, explored many packing sheds. But I don't believe any of the equipment in any of the packing sheds I've ever been to were quite like this. The house I'm getting ready to go to is also original. There's an outhouse over here. They didn't have indoor plumbing or anything, so they had actual outhouses. Let's see if anybody's in this one. think so. I bet there's nobody in there. I wonder if it is an outhouse. Let's lift it up and... It is. Well, kind of. Yeah, it's an outhouse. This here is an original house, and I'm assuming this is an original part of it. Don't know what that is. Let's check that one. Actually, it's here. Cadman Kitchen. Home cooking. Wait for dinner. Similar to many 19th century rural homes in Florida. This was the Cadman Kitchen, was separate from the main house for particular reasons. Cooking and fire smoke and heat would be unwelcome in living areas. It's restored. An 1884 house was restored in 1900. So even the restoration was many years ago. You could tell they had way more money than a lot of the other people. So here is this the kitchen? This is the cooking area that is separate than the main house. And yeah, so you got the dining, the cooking, so you can eat in here, you can cook all your food. Yeah, this is big. This is a big kitchen. And you walk through this covered area. You got a back porch. Can we go on the back porch? I'm assuming yes. No, oh no, we can. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, what a large home. You can walk all the way through from the bedroom here. Now this here, if I had to, I can live in a country, you know, a 150, 200-year-old home like this. I don't know how old it is. It's old though. Let's see, it was built in the 1800s, refurbished in 1900, so it's an old home. Yeah, I can live in something like this and overlook this piece of property. It's quite beautiful. They definitely have more chickens than what they have. Let's see what's in here. Okay, this is what we just seen, or is this another room? Oh no, this is a very tiny room right next door. That's the one room we were just looking at. This is a very tiny room. But, I mean, I live in a small trailer. Wow, this is like a mansion inside here. Look at the size of these ceilings. Yeah, this is huge. They got a little work desk over there, sofa, carpet, nice floors. And then here's the family dining, I'm assuming. Yes. So those are the other rooms we just went to, and then here's a nice dining area. Come here, door. No. There's no. I don't know if springs were invented. Okay, I'm out. Door shut. And then we have the church. I made a joke with her inside that I would like to drive my Tesla back here and to see if my computer on my car can pick up spirits from the old cemetery, which lies directly behind the church. Come to find out though, that is not an actual real cemetery. There's nobody there. It's for ambiance. Okay, supposedly we can go inside the church and use the side door, but I need to shoot the front of it because it's pretty epic. Let's go inside and check it out. And I'm gonna start winding this video down. It's probably getting too long. The main reason for coming here is Central Florida is so full of tourism. There's so many things. You know, you got the theme parks, you got the gift shops, you got the dining. But also, if you look hard enough, you find the history. There's two side doors. I'm hoping this is one of them you could walk in. We shall see. I'm just guessing because it looked like the door was cracked, and it is. Ooh, that is a stained glass window up there. I wasn't sure if it was or not from the outside. You couldn't really tell, but inside you can, and it's pretty epic. Again, another thing epic. Last couple weeks, Epic Universe. Earlier, an Epic House. And now, an Epic Church. What Pioneer Village would be complete without their own general store? Early pioneers were self-reliant and made and grew much of what they needed to survive. Yet during the same period, industries were beginning to mass produce everyday items. And those everyday items, well, obviously you need a place to sell them. Yeah, that would have been the hardest for me. I don't know, when I was younger, I used to live off the land pretty much. I lived out in the country. I lived in the desert. I lived up by Susanville, California, out by Honey Lake, and we survived fairly well. And we did not live in the pioneer days, but in between there, Anaheim, Riverside, California, and Georgia and Florida, all my stomping grounds. My stomping grounds pretty much covered the entire United States. I could not imagine as an adult trying to live the way I did when I was younger. My parents struggled back then and tried to provide the best life they could for us, which is pretty much what everybody here probably did back in the 1800s. But times changed. Could I go back to living that life as a child that my parents struggled to make me, who I am today? I think I could. In my head, I think I could still do it. Would you look at this? All the goods you would need. I like these. One thing it's kind of weird not to see. Old candy. From watching old episodes of like Little House on the Prairie, you would expect to see some candy here in a jar, for a nickel or a penny, probably a penny. You do see garments, display case. There are garments for sale and stuff, but there should be candy right here. No, it shouldn't be here. It should be closer to the cash register. There's the cash register. There should be some candy right here for the youngins. So the store was also the post office. You just drop your letters off right in there. Postmaster be back there. Probably the postmaster, I'm assuming, is also the person that operated the cash register. I'm just guessing. Right next to the post office, I'm assuming this is the schoolhouse. I could be wrong, but there is a bell out front to bring the children's in. Say, hey, it's time to start learning how to read. There we go. Let's open this door. Yes, it's an old schoolhouse. An old Florida schoolhouse. Yeah, this is interesting. This is really nice in here. Go ahead and start heading back out towards the car because I'm going to be back here again. This is just a quick little walk around as I kind of learn a little bit of this kind of a exploratory video of, just kind of getting to learn the place before I go out and do a real good video on Florida history about the pioneers here in Florida. And this was a great place to start. But I'll close out the video in the parking lot. Let's go. I definitely need to remember next time I go out to charge my devices. But here is the Osceola History card that they give you when you come in. Kind of explains some of the stuff. And there is a full-on map of the property. They do have a Pioneer Days, and it is free. It's once a year. You can come here and explore. You're probably going to want to go to the website, which will be linked in the description below. If you're ever in town during the Pioneer Days, it's a totally free event. You can come on in and enjoy everything. I don't know if I know there's a blacksmith here who sometimes works, but I'm assuming the whole place is staffed with real, you know how those festivals are. So you come here and enjoy that. Otherwise, the prices are $8. It's $8 to get in. And you got access to everything. You got kayaking, canoeing, the village here, the Pioneer Village. biking trails, miles and miles of biking trails, hiking trails through the forest over here by the creek, Shingle Creek to be more specific. So if you want to get away from the hustle and bustle, go check out some of the history around the area. There's a lot of it. In the future, we are going to check out the other two museums and probably do a canoe trip down the river. Hopefully before hurricane season starts, because that river probably is going to get crazy full and move too fast to actually canoe, because I'm not a great canoeer. So thank you for tuning in and checking out today's Florida history, and I'll see you guys from down the road. Peace, everybody.